Erick.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I played baseball for many years as a child. Started with t-ball, went to Little League, then finally moved on to varsity high school baseball. And I hated every single minute of it. Well, maybe hated is a little bit too strong of a word. Severely disliked, dreaded. Despite the strong feelings, I stuck with the sport. It was all that I knew, and it was all that my parents had exposed me to. My high school baseball coach was an extremely insightful guy. He knew that I was not happy with the sport, and he pulled me aside one day and he said, "Erick, why don't you think about soccer for a change? I think you'd be really good at it." And I paused for maybe three fractions of a second, and I told him flat out, no, I was not interested in soccer. There was entirely too much running. I didn't want to run. In fact, the reason I was playing baseball in the first place was that I didn't have to run that much. 20 years after that conversation, I found myself in Lisle, Illinois, running a 5K, finishing third in my age group, and actually enjoying it. How in the world did I end up in that position? Tonight I'm going to talk about how I changed from being a couch potato to a runner. I'm going to focus on three areas. First, how I became interested in running. Second, what I did to learn about it and stay motivated. And finally, I'm going to talk about some of the benefits and the results that came about from starting a running program. My purpose isn't to convince all of you tonight to become runners, although I think that would be great if you did. But instead, as I take you along this journey with me, maybe you'll see some things in your own life that you've disliked, but maybe they deserve a second chance. It all started with my mom. She began running about 5 or 6 years ago, and at the time I thought it was a little weird. She hadn't been athletic at all in any sense for as long as I had known her. She came out to visit us last fall, and on a whim, she signed up for the Morton Arboretum's Fall Color 5K. We lucked out. It was a gorgeous day. We went out as a family to cheer her on, and the weather was perfect, and the sky was clear, and the cool breeze, and thousands of runners, people just everywhere. Even if you weren't a runner, you couldn't help but be excited about what was going on and get caught up in some of that excitement. When my mom finished the race, I took a look and I said, you know, I can do that. That's not that hard. It's got to be, it looks fun, easy. I took a look at the finishing results for the people in my age group, and my competitive nature kicked in. And I started picturing myself beating these times. This guy is 34 years old, I can beat him. And then finally, I looked at my kids and I said, I don't want to be that dad who's out of shape and huffing and puffing on the sideline, can't keep up, and grandma's lapping him and all that stuff. Don't want to go there. So after my mom left, I quietly made plans to start a running program. The only problem was I had no idea where to begin. Being the perfectionist that I am, started reading and researching and got online, and I discovered a program called the Couch to 5K. Just like its name implies, it's designed to get you off of the couch and running a 5K. It does it gradually though, so you're not overwhelmed in one big push. You start off maybe running for 30 seconds, walking for 60, running for 90 seconds, until you've built up enough endurance you can run that full 3.1 miles without stopping. I found that, and then I also discovered an audio recording that would allow you to listen to it on your MP3 player as you were going along, and you'd be able to know exactly when to start and when to stop. It just made it so easy. So I thought, great, I'm all set. Now all I need to do is follow through on this plan. Well, it only took the first session for me to realize that it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I was severely out of shape and was not prepared for it, but I stuck with it. And my mom caught wind that I was doing the running, and she got all excited, and she sent me an early birthday present, and it was this GPS watch that keeps track of how far you've run and how fast you're going, and you can upload it to a website. It's just ridiculous. And it was a great gift because it really got me even more motivated. It kept me on track. It tapped into my love of technology and gadgets and all that kind of stuff. So I was very thankful for that. Well, I managed to get through the Couch to 5K program, and at the end of it, what was the result? Well, I'm pleased to say that I can now run up to 6 miles without completely collapsing on the ground. I have run 3 5Ks, and I'm able to finish them in about 22 minutes, which I'm really proud of. And I also realized as I took running more seriously is that I need to take my diet seriously as well. I was eating a lot of junk food and drinking fruit juice like crazy. I just love grape juice. I drink that stuff by the gallon. And cut all that out, ended up losing 20 pounds just from all that. Some of the unexpected things, though, I didn't plan on this, is I joined a running club in Wheaton and met a whole lot of really interesting people. Had a great experience with them. I'm still doing that on a once-a-week basis. And even more surprising for me was that my kids got totally involved in what I was doing. I didn't expect to see them so excited about it. And when I was a kid, I was a complete slacker. I mean, I didn't do anything like this at all. And so I feel like I'm maybe setting a good example for them. It's been an interesting last 9 months for me as I started running. I've talked a little bit about how I became interested in it, what I did to learn how to run and stay motivated, and also talked about the results and benefits of all of that. I don't think, however, that it's really about the running. For me, it's about learning to be open to things that I had previously written off. And it caused me to pause and think, what else am I missing out on because I'm not open to them? I think it's pretty common for us to form an opinion on something and then stick with it, maybe for a long time, for the rest of our lives, and we miss out. Maybe it's simple as a food that you don't like and you don't want to try it, even though you know it's good for you. Or it's a family member or a coworker that you've just written off as being no good and they'll never be any good. Or maybe it's something like an activity that you're convinced that you're just not able to do. For me, all it took was a little small steps and a little inspiration from my mom to change me from couch potato to runner. I'm still working on that baseball thing.